Hey there everyone, it's Ms. Zimmerman again, here to talk with you a little bit more about farms. Today we have a whole new animal we're going to start talking about, and that is the chicken. We're here with Old MacDonald again, and he's going to show us some of the chickens that live on his farm. Now, some farmers have lots and lots of chickens. Chickens are birds, but they don't really fly. Like any bird, chickens have feathers, and they have wings, and they have feet and beaks. But chickens can't fly. They can flap their wings, and sometimes a chicken can get a few feet off the ground when they flap their wings, or even to the top of a little roof of a shed. But chicken bodies are not suited for flying, which is why we don't see chickens flying through the sky outside. Some farmers let their chickens out in the yard to peck around for insects, seeds, and other food on the ground. Pecking is when they lower their beak down on the ground and kind of throw their beak at the ground like that. As long as there's food to be found, chickens tend to stay close to home, so there's little need to worry about them running away. They really want to eat the food, so they're not going to run away from the farm because they know that that's where their food is. Generally, chickens need help from the farmer to get all of their food that they need. The farmer feeds them special pellets called chicken feed, or he can feed them dried corn or wheat, or he can feed them oats. Here's a picture of a chicken that's pecking at the ground and getting all that feed that the farmer gave him or her. At night, and all the time on some farms, chickens live in the chicken coop. A chicken coop is not a fancy shelter. It usually consists of a small building where the chickens make their nests and where they roost or sleep at night. The chicken coop also has a fenced-in yard. I see the fence going around back here. The fence isn't really to keep the chickens inside. It's mainly to keep other animals away from the chicken coop. There are some animals like owls, foxes, raccoons, and skunks, and they are nocturnal predators, which means that they hunt at night. So every farmer needs to make sure that the chickens are safely locked up in the coop every night before that farmer goes to bed. Here's a picture of something you probably recognize. These are two eggs. Female chickens are called hens, and hens lay these eggs, which people like to eat. On some farms, the farmer collects the eggs from the chicken's nest every morning and every evening. On other farms, the hens lay their eggs in cages with sloping bottoms that go down like this, so that the eggs roll down out of their cages and then a conveyor belt collects them. The farmer and his family eat the eggs, or they sell the eggs to other people. I know I get my eggs from the grocery store. I think that's where a lot of people in Chicago get their eggs too. Eggs have hard shells. If you crack the shell, you can break open the egg and release the egg yolk, is the yellow part, and the egg white, which is the white part. Egg yolk is yellow, and egg white is actually clear, although it turns white like this when you cook it. Some people like to eat fried eggs like this, or they eat scrambled eggs, which means you mix it all around before you cook it, or they boil eggs for breakfast. I know that's what I had for breakfast today, is a hard-boiled egg. Eggs are also used to make other foods, including cakes and cookies and other baked goods. Every time Ms. Zimmerman wants to bake a cake, she always has to use some eggs inside that batter. This hen laid several eggs, and now she's sitting on her eggs. If the farmer does not collect the eggs, the hen will keep sitting on them in order to keep them warm and protected. This is called nesting. After the hen sits on the eggs for a long time, almost a month, something amazing will happen. A chick will be born, and it will use its beak to crack open the egg from the inside. For 21 days, the chick has gradually grown inside the egg, and all this time it has been using the egg yolk and white as its food. Within a few hours, the chick will be fluffy and yellow. Here in this picture, we see some eggs that are just getting cracked open. We also see some chicks that are just outside, and this one's a little bit fluffier. It looks like it's been out of the egg for a little bit already. On some farms, the eggs are hatched in incubators, which are machines that warm the eggs, just like a mother hen would warm the egg. Hens are very good mothers. They naturally know how to sit on eggs to keep them warm, and they know how to raise their baby chicks. They will even sit on other hens' eggs. Unlike cows and pigs, chickens don't produce milk to feed their young. After the chicks hatch, they quickly learn to scratch and peck, and soon these chicks will be ready to peck on the ground to find food for themselves. This is a picture of a male chicken. Those are called roosters. You might have heard of roosters because they make a very distinctive sound. We know that roosters say, cock-a-doodle-doo. The farmer usually only keeps one rooster in the chicken coop. Roosters do not lay eggs. Like the hens you saw earlier, this rooster has a red comb on top of his head. Let me bring it a little closer. There's the red comb on top of his head. Roosters are famous for perching on fences and even on rooftops, if they can flap or scamper to the top of the barn. And they crow, which, like I just said, sounds like cock-a-doodle-doo. Roosters are alarm clocks for farmers because they often crow as soon as the sun starts to rise. So when the farmer hears the cock-a-doodle-doo, they know that the sun is rising and it's time to wake up and start their day's work. Now, of course, farmers don't raise chickens just for their eggs. Many people like to eat chicken. One of my favorites is chicken nuggets right here, like we have at Piccolo. People also eat fried chicken. They eat grilled chicken. They eat oven roasted or baked chicken, all kinds of chicken. You might have even had something called chicken fingers before. Now, we know, of course, chickens don't really have fingers. Chicken fingers are just strips of cooked chicken meat that you can eat with your fingers because they're so thin you can pick them up without a fork. Well, that is just about everything that I can tell you about chickens. I hope you've enjoyed this. Be sure to take a look at the questions that your teacher has posted and talk about those questions and answers together. Thanks so much. Stay safe.